I was 14 in JS2 uh, when a family friend, my father's friend in quote, because she's more closer to my dad than any other person in the house. She used to come to our house because everybody was pushed down to Kaduna. We we had issues with armed robbers then, so my dad now for safety now said everybody should come back to Kaduna to stay. So it was me and my dad because of school. He said I should stay. And his job too. It was in Zaria. She do come to our house regularly. She invited me to her house one time. I went, that was when we closed from church because she was our church member. So after I went to the house, after the church activity with some friends, when she entertained us well, we left. So she kept insisting I should come again, which I did. That was after I went to school. When I was coming back, something prompted me to go, which I did. And when I went to her house, she entertained me well. Everything went fine. I even thought I thought that was just the whole idea. But when I picked the whole interest of leaving, that was where she shut the door. And she told me to wait. So I waited, and she started acting all funny, trying to touch me, and those places where are not really proper. She was doing it before she started putting my hands in her clothes, doing all those things. Actually, she made me feel the urge to want to have sex at that age, and she gave me the exposure for that very first time. That very first day, I slept with her, and I enjoyed it. Let me use the word enjoyed it. I never knew what was coming to me. I enjoyed it. She invited me again. I went again and again. Sometimes I even go without her even telling me to come. Other times I will go to the house, I won't even meet her at home, but I will still want to go again. That was how the story continued. We had this experience for more than a year. I had it until when I finished my JS3 and my dad had to push me down to Kaduna. And that was where it stopped. But until then, I thought I was enjoying myself, having all those, and having that privilege to be sex appealed at that age. Not until when I went to my secondary school, my higher secondary school, which is the SS here in Kaduna. And when I started it in Kaduna, it was more like I have escaped her shackles. I had to control myself in school because it's a boarding house. I now got this senior in SS3, our assistant head girl. She was fun too. That was where I continued because she asked me. I pushed her even into it. She asked me and I told her it's something that it's not actually new. So she was older than me, but we went into it before she left the school. So that was how my story continued. And I introduced a couple of few, but my story began, my problem began like 4 or 5 years ago when I was sleeping. Around 12:01, I I felt a very sharp pain, very, very sharp pain in my stomach. I shouted, I couldn't walk, so I crowed. My mom, my mom woke up because she's a very light sleeper, so she woke up. They rushed me to the hospital. They took me to plenty, like about 3, 4 hospitals that very night. That was where the doctor now asked me if I do smoke. He asked me if I do this, if I do that. All those things he had been asking, I was telling him no. Do I know women? I said no. So he said that this thing, it's just not, it's unusual for it to just happen like that. You must have been doing one of those things for you to be able to encounter this problem, which I refused because my mom was there, people were there. What will I tell them? Well, he said that my manhood have been played with a lot. So it's either I was playing with it, he just gave reasons to why it has to happen or why it happened, which when he was giving those reasons, I totally understood. So I tried to tell him nothing happened or nothing had been happening because my mom was there, family members were there. So what should I tell them when everybody have seen me as this good, innocent child that I am or that I have been? I tried to cover up. Not until when I was discharged and I was about to go, and I noticed that my testicle one is bigger than one. So I told my mom, because she's the closest person I could relate to or that can understand what I'm really going through. So when I told her, she said, we have to talk to the doctor so that the doctor will know what to do since we are still in the hospital before we go. So when we spoke to the doctor, he said, yes, these are all symptoms, that it will eventually wear off and everything will come back to normal. So he told my mom exactly what he felt was actually supposed to be the problem. But since I haven't complained of any of those things, then they should just put watch and know if there is anything, or if anything eventually comes up, they can bring me back, which my mom understood. They gave me some drugs. I brought them back home. I did the best I could just to see that I regained back my sanity, which actually didn't work. I told my mom I'm going back to the doctor's place. She said, why? I said, this thing is not really working. So when I went back to the doctor's place on my own, I met the doctor. We spoke for a little while. He touched everything, he felt it. He told me that actually the one of my testicle is actually dried, and it just, if it will eventually come back to normal, it will be a miracle. But since I'm fine and everything is okay, then I should not worry that it won't affect me anymore. So all I need to do is just to be careful, and whatever that caused it, if I know that I should know what to do. If it's smoking, I should stop smoking. If it's women, I should know how to handle women. He gave me so many instances and reasons to why I should stop, which I told him thank you, I appreciated. And I came back home. I went back home, kept taking the remnants of the drugs, and the more drugs he gave to me, I kept taking, but nothing changed. Nothing changed. But I thank God that I'm still alive today, and my story now, it's out here to reach the young minds that are probably, or in one way or the other, being molested or being abused in any way of sort, so they could be able to speak out. I never had the opportunity of speaking out because I I don't know how to tell my dad, or is it fear, or probably I was enjoying it so much that I felt someone is giving me something good. But at the tail end of it is that I got my lessons, and I want everybody out there, whoever you are, or whatever you do, as long as you know that yes, someone is trying to make you uncomfortable at a tender age, try to speak out. If you can run, run. Whatever you can do to abstain and save yourself, try and do so.